having you, John. Awesome concert. Well, it's destination Boulia as we bug out of the bash site and head north up the Air Developmental Road. On the way, we visited the old Karkuri homestead ruins, which was abandoned by Sydney Kidman in 1906 after years of drought and the loss of 4,000 bullocks. This is all that stands today. Next door, the hot artesian bore still runs strong. At 100 k's up the road, a field of yellow flowers on the floodplains of the King Creek was worth a stop, and then it was into Bedourie for one of the most expensive burgers we've ever bought. But all for a good cause. Well, we've decided to camp tonight at Bedourie instead of Boulia, so we've pulled up in the free camp area just near the footy oval. Pretty open.
Very open.
But not bad. But we just we had a burger, a $20 burger mind you, at the pub on the other way in, and now we just headed down to the artesian hot spas, which pay $10, get the key, go in and have a swim. So we'll see what they're like when we get there. So the pool here is about 37 or 31 degrees or something, and the pool that's right up the back there, up the back over there, is, well, it's about 40 plus, which is pretty hot to get into, and you can't stay in there long, but yeah, it's very nice. $10 at the visitor centre for the key to get in the gate, and yeah, it's open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. apparently, so quite good. It did, however, resemble a scene from the movie Cocoon at one stage. Now, last night we camped up at the Bedourie football oval, which wasn't on Wiki Camps, but when we went into the visitor centre, they said, oh yeah, you can free camp at the football oval, just drive up onto the grass area around or on the oval. So we pulled up here for the night. We were originally going to Boulia, but we decided to pull up here and have a bit of a look around. Today we move on to Boulia.
Have the local coppers behind us. There he goes. Like chalk and cheese. One side's brown and desolate and the other side's green and lush.
So we're camped here on the banks of the Bourke River here at Boulia. This council-owned free camp is behind the Boulia racetrack. The sign on the way in says take your grey water with you, so make sure you're completely self-contained. And if you're here a few weeks before the Boulia camel races, you get camel training each afternoon. Camel warm-ups. Picked up the pace in the first lap. So we're at the Boulia Min Light experience. First reported sighting of the old Erie Min lights was in the early 1890s over the grave at the rear of the Min Hotel. This hotel burnt down in the early 1900s, but was located on the Kennedy Developmental Road between Winton and Boulia. There's never been any scientific explanation of what the Min lights are. There's been plenty of theories, but nothing has ever been proven. So unfortunately, you can't come in with us, but it is what it is. It's certainly worth coming to Boulia to have a look at this encounter or experience, because yeah, it's something you don't expect in such a small town. So if you're coming through Boulia, go in and have a look. There's one thing we just love about a good free camp in outback Australia, and that's a damn good sunset. Today's our last day in Boulia, so we're still here behind the race course. We're heading off tomorrow and head towards the East McDonald Ranges. So we're going across the Plenty Highway or Donohue Highway, whichever way you want to look at it. Because we won't be long before we hit the dirt, and we'll be on the dirt for quite a long time. I really want to make sure that the wheel nuts are all okay, given that I did a little bit of work on it before we came up. I have checked them along the way just to make sure, but we've already done probably, I don't know, be close to 100 or so Ks on the dirt already. So I just like to check them, make sure they're torqued up to the right spec. So MDC like you to have your wheel nuts torqued up to 140 Newton meters. So I've got my torque wrench here. So just check them out. So the torque wrench just does a click when it's up to the right tension or torque, tightness, however you want to put it. So that one was a little bit loose. A little bit loose, that one. That one's good. And that one's okay. So we'll shoot round and do the ones on the other side. So while I'm at it, I'll also do the nuts on the actual hitch itself, because they can come loose. So these ones are supposed to be tensioned to 90 Newton meters. Good. All right, well, that's all good for that. We'll have a quick look underneath and make sure that everything's still intact, and just check the trailing arms and all that sort of stuff to make sure it's all ready to go and ready to hit the dirt tomorrow.
Out of Boulia today. We're headed for
Tobermory Station.
Oh,
which is on the, well, it's actually the Donohue Highway in the south and the Queensland side, but it's the Plenty Highway on the Northern Territory side, and the station is virtually nearly right on the border. So we'll be turning onto the Donohue Highway very shortly and hitting the gravel. I think we've got a couple of Ks of asphalt and then we're onto the gravel.
Woohoo! Some more dirt roads.
Absolutely.
Thought we needed to stop, so we just pulled into a workers area because it's a Sunday and no one's working. So we thought we'd just have a little bite to eat.
So we just pulled up for lunch, and when we pulled up, I actually smelled a smell of like hydraulic fluid or something, and like hot hydraulic fluid. Now I wasn't sure whether it was one of those there or whether it was the car, but unfortunately turns out it's the car. So just in having a bit of a look, and we've just put Starlink on to see whether we can try to Google something, but it looks like we've got transmission fluid coming out of the transmission breather. So I'm just, yeah, I'll have a look. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to happen, but it could be just as either a sign of maybe the transmission getting too hot or whatever. So yeah, we'll We might get on the internet and see what we can find out. We are about, I reckon, probably 60 or 70 k's from Tobermory Station at the moment on the Donohue Highway. So yeah, just as well we've got Starlink, we can actually look this sort of stuff up if we need to. So all of this down in here, just here, had, was wet, had fluid on it. So basically used rule of thumb and came up to the highest point. Now this was wet here, and nothing else above it is. So, and then when I actually put my finger under there, it was wet as well, and you can see how it's kind of wet around the side. The others are okay, so they were dry, but that bottom one was wet. So I'm assuming that is the oh, you probably can't see it, but yeah, that one there. And yeah, the two top ones were dry, but the bottom one was wet. Okay, so we're back on the way again, and after a bit of Google searching, we put on we put Starlink on and managed to get onto Google and did a bit of a search. So it could be the fact of transmission fluid is coming out of the breather, because either the transmission is too hot and it's starting to force transmission fluid out the breather, or there's a couple of other reasons as well, such as a faulty valve or something like that that's in there. I'm no mechanic, so I don't know. Unfortunately, with this kind of Ranger, so the 2018 Ranger, there's no gauges to tell you how hot your transmission is or how it's feeling. You just got to suck it and see. So I don't know, without one of the dash mounted scan disc things that you can plug in to your car, you just got to suss out how it's feeling. So we're just towing a little bit, probably a little bit slower and a bit higher gear now. So instead of, and just to give the engine a chance to take a load off, I guess, and the transmission to take a load off. See how it goes. Dried it all off underneath, and we'll see if it's still leaking when we get to Tobermory Station. We are so close we can taste it.
Never been to this state before.
Territory.
Territory.
It's not a state, it's a territory.
Can't wait to cross the border. How exciting! No, we're in the Northern Territory. How exciting!
It even looks like the Northern Territory. Tobermory Station. Just a one night stop here, and we then head on further west. A bit rugged up this morning, and it's a little bit chilly, but kind of come out to catch a little bit of the sunrise and have a bit of a look around. So when we got in yesterday, we didn't really get to film much because we were sort of trying to work out whether anything was still wrong with the car, etc. And then got talking to people. So I thought I'd come out this morning and have a bit of a walk around. They work on, even though we're in the Northern Territory, because we're just across the border, they still work on Queensland times. But because they work on Queensland time, we've got to be out of here at 9:30 instead of 10 o'clock. So yeah. Anyhow, not a bad little setup here. It's very kind of compact. They're surrounded by a levee wall which runs around the station here, and so all the camping is actually inside the levee wall and sort of right opposite the main homestead. So the main homestead is just there, over around the back there, and the workshops and all that sort of thing are down there, the office, and then this area here is like a bit of a bar, and that you can kind of come to. It was open last night when we got here. A bit of a sit round, bit of a nice communal fireplace there, made out of the old truck. So the roof is made out of old windmills.
Today we're on our way to Java Station, which is a bush camp. Apparently it has hot showers and running waters and water.
It can have running waters.
And fire pits. We'll show you around there when we get there. Right, see ya.
Plenty Highway was a mix of gravel road with large rocks, through to sections with bulldust and raised humps across the road, keeping everyone on their toes. One lapse in concentration and you're porpoising down the road with the caravan airborne. Towards Jervois Station, they were doing a heap of road improvements. As you can see, we're back into the fly nets again. Flies are, well, they're not horrendous, but there's quite a few of them. Pretty busy. Yeah, so here we are at Jervois Station. We had it confirmed. It is actually Jervois, not Jarvis. So
Apologies.
that is the campground in there. As you can see, it's $20 per car for camping, $10 for motorbikes. There is toilet and showers, but they are up there. So the white corrugated iron shed area. So that is the toilet and shower up there. So there's one toilet and shower for men, one toilet and shower for women. Yeah, kind of nice spot. We managed to get fuel, so it was $2.80 a litre for fuel, which is not too bad. So yeah, it is what it is. You're out in remote areas, you've got to pay. It takes costs them a lot to get it here. But they do have a small little not a cafeteria, kiosk type thing. You can get cold chocolate and that sort of thing, and drinks.
Not a coffee.
Yeah, not a bad little kiosk. Some old Bowsers there in the shade. And there's the kiosk, and the dog's barking, so he must be there. So good little, probably get my leg taken off. No. So when you pull in here, no one's at the kiosk, push the buzzer. Apparently, it's very loud.
Oh, is it?
And there's nothing wrong with the car, I'm just putting the bonnet up to let it cool down. The fact is that on the way here, it behaved itself, which was a good thing. There was no more transmission fluid leaking out the breather, so just assuming that it just got really hot and didn't like it yesterday. So we'll see how it goes. One heck of a riverbed just down behind the station homestead there. Goes right across to the other side there. Very wide. Imagine the expanse of water that would come down this during wet season. Okay, so that's where we're going to end this episode. Tomorrow we head towards the Altunga Pub and Eco Resort. So it'd be interesting. The route that I'm planning to take in there will be a road called the Pinnacle, or Pinnacle Road I think it is. It does run off the Plenty Highway and runs down into the East Mac Ranges. I'm hoping we can get down that way. I'm still going to ask the question here at the station just to see whether it's accessible anyway, so we'll see what happens there. So yeah, so we'll end it here.
All right, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And check out our socials as well, Facebook
Absolutely.
and Instagram.
Yep, too right. See you guys.
See ya.
Well, on that note, we're going to end this episode here. Mental blink. Where apparently. Well, that's where we're going to end this episode. So tomorrow we head towards the Altunga. Why are you holding my arm?
Because you're always throwing your hand out there. You're telling me off the other day for doing this.
Well, that's because you're fancy fingers.
Give you fancy fingers in a minute.
That's fancy finger. Hang on, let's do that again. Well, that's where we're going to end this episode. Tomorrow we head south we don't head south. We're not heading south.
We're not heading south.
Continue to head west. Let's just do that again.